Now, the tendency to feel frustrated, to feel let down, to feel like, does God remember me? That may be high now, but I believe that this is the time to be able to see the things that God has made available, because he saw today. God saw today, he saw, ahead of time and had already made provision. So I'm using this opportunity to tell you, I know what that feels like, when you feel like, oh, I've passed this phase, and all of a sudden you find yourself there again. So I'm making this video to encourage you to show up tomorrow. The reason for that is that you are going to see that there are other people who had passed where you were before COVID-19. Let me share with you some of the stages and phases, whether you are in ministry or you are in business, you are likely going to go through maybe all these different phases. And number one is the startup phase. That happens in business, happens in ministry. In fact, I don't know where you want to mention that you will not be able to fit that in. There's always a startup point. And for those of us in ministry who didn't have any sort of maybe partners or a particular congregation or friends stood by you to say, okay, go, we believe what you're doing, we'll stand by you financially and in prayers. Many of us might be, we're still in that phase before the COVID-19 eruption, eruption. And when you pass that stage, that is where, maybe nobody believes you. Nobody believes you are calling. Nobody knows you. You have to figure things out by yourself, and you pray every time, maybe fast more voluntarily. uh, and then you move into the phase of struggles where you are barely making it, people beginning to believe, oh, you have persisted. So they keep seeing you on course, that in the midst of all your challenges, you said God called you. And same with those in business. So there's nothing you really want to start out to do, and you were not known, nobody knew you, that you might not go through these places. Yeah, I know there are some people whose parents actually want them there, friends, colleagues. Some people just stand up and say, okay, we stand by you. We believe in what God has called you to do. And that phase is not really felt much because you have some sort of cushioning by the help of these persons or persons. And then many are able to get to the next phase of scaling. And you're beginning to think of, okay, this has worked here. How can we get it to work somewhere else? How can we increase the number of people that we are serving? Because that's what this is about. Even in business, it's found out that it's those who have that mindset of, I'm serving you, even though you are going to pay for it, but it's service. They are the ones who actually put in more than the normal. They do more than the regular business person. They are not doing it. When I read business and human resource management, the focus was businesses are set up most times to be able to make money. But now we know it is those who go out with the heart of service. That's what I'm offering. Even though people are going to pay for it, but I'm going there to serve them, solve their problem, help them get unstuck, and be able to enhance what they are doing, help them to scale. So for those of us who have passed through maybe the startup phase, you struggle a little bit, and even the support you are given may not be enough, and some didn't have support at all. And you are able to move to the stage of scaling. That's when you are personally beginning to feel like, I think I was right. And now I feel God called me. And for many, that stage is a struggle because you need to reinvent yourself. You will not be thinking like the person you were at the startup. And of course, by this time, if you have been developing yourself, you would have grown. Even at the phase of struggle, you would have grown, but you are seeing things differently. You are perceiving things differently. And the human brain has a way of recording the things that we have been doing over time to want us to continue that way, to want us to continue the way we have been operating. But you see, it has to be a desire to move forward. And you are going to see the importance of what I'm sharing now. You have to move to the stage where you can begin to see a level of success. In the business world, they have a certain amount that if you're earning from this to this, you can begin to feel like you're succeeding. Why? At that stage, you can now begin to delegate, you begin to outsource, you begin to get help and pay the people, so you have the time for the most important things, and yet the work gets done. That is the phase where you can test run some systems, some ideas to see how this can work with or without you. That's a very important stage. It is my goal in fixing this coaching program for pastors to refresh so they can thrive. Many I know are having depression and feeling bad, wishing they did something else. All those things are human. They are possibilities. And it's not because you are a man of God, a woman of God, that you won't have those feelings try to come in. It's one thing for those feelings to come, it's another thing for you to say, this feeling, I don't want you here. You know, like the psalmist said, oh my soul, why are you disquieted in me? In other words, he was beginning to have all those conflicting thoughts. Wouldn't you have been better if you didn't accept this call, if you were still developing yourself, doing the business you had in mind, and blah, blah, blah. But this is where we are going. Eventually, our target, my aim, is to support, help, stand by as much as God enables me, as much as I can, for those who want to move past that to get to the place of significance. The place of significance is where the drama begins, where you are not held back, because all the fears that used to stand in front of you say, you can't, you didn't even come from such a background. They would have been broken down. You would have been able to see things that can be possible, that you feel the Lord leads you to travel to anywhere in the world, and funds are not limitations. Yes, you will pray, but you are praying for something else. This time around, it's not for, oh God, touch somebody to give me transport fare. You would have been able to you would have gone past that. So that is my goal, to see how the Lord can use the program that we are working on to move you from wherever you are at, whether you were still at the startup point or you had reached a place of scaling, but you feel like you have gone back to where you were struggling again, or you have been at the stage of success, but it looks like it's becoming difficult. You are beginning to see yourself at that stage of struggle or scaling. That's why I want to invite you, especially the ministers. If you know any pastor, every pastor in the whole world is going through one challenge or the other. is going through something, somebody had settled, or a family has settled in your church, or more than a family, or families that settle in your church, don't even come out again because they're still scared of interacting with others physically. God has a word for you. I want to ask you to show up. Show up tomorrow, Saturday, at 6:30 to 8 p.m. United Kingdom time. And it will be one of the most important, most valuable times you have spent or you have invested. Come with the mind of investment. You are coming to invest into yourself. And the good part of it, or a better part of it, is that it's free. It's free, and God has you in mind. That's why this meeting is holding. So I look forward to seeing you, and I trust that you will not let this opportunity to slip. Thank you for watching this, and if you know a friend who can benefit from this, please share this video with them. This is Pastors Resets to strive. Sorry, to thrive. Sorry. Pastors Resets to thrive. So that we let down all the striving, all the struggling, all the toiling. That is not what God called us into. He called us to glory and to virtue. See you on the inside. God bless you.